our business, it's at least 90%. And like I told you, I've even kicked that up a couple numbers. But I wanted to be liberal in my number, okay? Because I did. I want to be a little bit liberal there on my number. And then I went back and I got a little conservative on the number as well. So, but it's definitely 90 or higher. So for the people that you guys are seeing online out in the field, I'm sure that you guys can agree with this 100%. That you guys are seeing lots of women and fewer men. Unless, of course, you're going to the construction site and they're handing you a hard hat, okay? Or you're doing some commercial type job, then you're probably seeing some more men. But even in that field, a lot of them are changing and you're still seeing a lot of women. So here's what they said. They said about the differences between men and women, okay, was that it's all in the brain. Men are on a mission and women are on a journey, okay? Men are on a mission, women are on a journey. Let me explain. Very simple. When I go to the store, okay, let's say it's Sears, okay, I know that I'm going to the men's shoe department and I have a great idea of where I'm going, okay? So I head on over there, I buy my shoes, I check out, and split, okay? If I am with my wife, okay, and I've already told her this and she laughed a million times about it too, so it's okay. If I'm with my wife, I end up holding her clothes while she rips through racks. Okay, and she's on a journey, and anytime I try to mess with that, I end up in trouble, okay? So, in other words, men go in and out, they don't want to smell the flowers, they don't care. Women are all about the experience along the way, which is key. Because if you're selling to somebody who appreciates an experience, Linda, does that mean you're going to spend more time with them?
Yeah.
Does it mean that you're going to talk to them a little bit differently?
Yeah.
Does it mean that your approach is probably going to be far different than getting to the end result, getting a price, and getting a yes or no?
All right, call past customers. Pretty simple. The phone probably has jaws. I mean, a lot of you guys are like, I don't want to call it. You're so scared of the telephone. Stop being scared about it. It's not that big a deal. Call them up. Hey, I did a job for you 6 months ago. Just want to check in. How's everything going? Hey, you know what? We just started selling awnings or window film or whatever it may be. Or, oh, there's a special on draperies. Or, hey, guess what? Really taking off is balance treatments or panels. Would you like me to help you out? Call them on the app. Hey, just wanted to wish you a happy anniversary. Huh? Yeah, this is Barbara from 3 Blind Mice. I don't know if you're... I don't know, but it's been a year already since we beautified your home. Hey, is there anybody else that might want to do the same to their home, or were there any extra things that you might want to do? You know, everyone seems to be getting one of these Alexa devices or one of these Google Homes to make their life easier. Well, guess what? Our shades work with that. Is that something you'd be interested in? Boom. Takes a second. Send them a birthday card. I mean, when's the last time you received a birthday card from somebody you bought something with? Probably not very often.
We use a 5-step selling plan. You guys might use a 10 or a 7 or whatever, or a 3-step, but we use a 5-step, okay? And in that 5-step plan, the first 2 steps that we're going to talk about today are what we call the confirmation call or making a friend. And the second step is touring the house, okay? And we're going to talk about those 2 because position is everything when it comes to urgency.
Added cornice boxes are so easy to sell and so easy to add to an order. Okay, another one is a box sheet balance. Real simple. You can put up a blind with a balance. Put up a woven shade and a balance. A cellular shade and a balance. So simple. Another one is the stationary side panels. The drapes, they're just 2 little side channels and a rod. Really easy. Another one is the fabric shades. Classic flat Roman or Roman shade. Those are my favorites. And pillows. Again, these are just really easy goods that you can just add into your process.
How often do you sell pillows?
I just sold a $3,000 order of pillows.
Really?
Yeah,
$3 grand in pillows.
$3,400 in pillows.
People like to buy things when they think they can get it at a price that it's not normally offered. Okay? So promotions are great for creating urgency. The other
Basically, there's two types of chains for roller shades. They're either plastic, what we call poly bead, or they are a form of a metal. Now the poly comes in lots of different colors. So like here, you've got white. This one's got a black chain on it, and this one's got a brown chain on it. Those are poly beaded chains. Versus your metal chains, which generally come in the nickel plated. Okay, so it comes in like a shiny metal and stainless steel. Stainless steel you definitely want to put in commercial applications, okay, because they're much stronger. Stainless steel is a much harder metal. Also, if you're coastal, you're in the coastal application. You can do it if they want a metal chain. I still prefer the poly beaded next to the coastal because it doesn't. Stainless just means it stains less. Not like it's stain proof. Okay, so I've got several clients down at the coast that's got stainless chains. They've been there for 15 years. They're brown. Salt air will do anything. Okay, so I still prefer the poly beaded. But there's a lot of commercial applications. I tend to do. They want the metal. It's just more durable.
So availability is you, okay? Now, if anyone ever asks how business is, there's only one answer, okay? If anybody ever asks you, Lisa, how is business for you? What's the answer?
Fantastic.
It's fantastic. In fact, it's never been better, right? Business has never been better. You could be slow, you could be lagging, you could be going through a desert, but in your response, business is better than it always has been. And why? The old business model. Nothing attracts a crowd like a crowd. You go walking through Seaport Village and you see somebody playing an instrument and there's two people standing there, you might walk by. But when you see 20 and you see more people starting to gather, you're certain to stop, yeah? Because it becomes interesting.
Because not a lot of people out there know how to do it, or not a lot of people are super comfortable with that. So it gives you this unique selling proposition in that it differentiates you from the competition, right? So it makes you the logical choice, and it makes you the best fit to fulfill their needs. You are offering a well-rounded selection of products, and you have more tools to choose from.
A whole presentation on asking for referrals. This is by far the cheapest marketing source that you could ever possibly have. If you're not asking on every single sale, you're leaving money on the table. And
so there's your tube, there's your fabric. It's called the clutch. And there are a lot of clutch options. So the clutch is what actually turns the tube. And you have a chain there. So the chain goes through the clutch. This little spindle here goes inside the tube. That actually turns the tube, raising and lowering the fabric. On the other end, okay, this is what's called the idler end. I-D-L-E-R, idler. That goes on the other end of the tube, and then goes on this bracket, and that's what helps keep the roller shade level. Because if the roller shade isn't mounted level, the fabric as it rolls up and down will slide to one side or the other. That's what we call skewing or tracking.
They want to hear a little bit about you. They want to know a little bit about your company's history. They want to know about whether or not you like their animals. They're just waiting for you to say something about Fluffy on the floor, and don't you dare pass it up. Okay? They're waiting for that type of reaction to you. So you come into that room, maybe empty-handed, and they're like, "Oh, where's all your samples?" You're like, "Don't. I've got so many samples. We'll be here for hours."
That's the windows, right? So we got the ear shades in there. Looks good, looks fine. What a difference. Wow, here's our rectangles. 1, 2, 3, 4 rectangles and 2 rods across the top. Easy. Here's the valance. Couple rectangles, rectangle across the top. I always do my cornice boxes straight.
create that urgency. And the goal of steps 1 and 2 in order is to identify needs, create solutions, engage the client, provide insight, eliminate fear, gauge urgency, create urgency, and seal the deal. That's it right there. Steps 1 and 2 in a nutshell. It's so important to identify needs. If you don't have anything in your arsenal, how can you create urgency? You really can't. You don't have anything. You don't have any tangible evidence yet to create urgency. If you don't create solutions, they probably don't want to do business with you.
It just instantly has that connotation of money. The reason we chose 50 is because we give $50 for referrals. So we appreciate referrals. Each referral you send us, we'll write you a check for $50. So maybe the person isn't in the market for window coverings themselves, but ooh, wait a second. My parents were talking about window coverings.
And here's your clutches. Here's just to show you that they have all these different clutches for all these different tube sizes. So the actual part that goes inside the tube is different. And you can actually see some of the different profiles here. You have a real small smooth one, here with a couple of grooves, here with a star, here with a notch, and there's a bigger notch. You can also see here the different of the wheels. So it's a gear. Okay, so your gears change as you go up there. And then your bracket size also has to change to accommodate the clutch. So that's basically what you get. So
lead time can help you and it can break you, okay? We know when the lead times go so far, they hurt us. But when the lead times are like they are at normal, they can help you. As easy as saying, well, you know, I know you have the tea coming up, and right now, it looks like we can get them in about a week before that tea. So you're in business. I know you have the wedding coming up. I know you have that engagement. You've been here for 3 weeks without window coverings. I can possibly get these for you at this time. But we need to move quick because it's going to take us this long to get them there.
Here's a success story. One of the customers, here's our pillows. $400 for pillows. So Bauer, they was a core lead in San Juan Capistrano. They asked about woven wood shades. They said, oh yeah, we like it. I went out, got the book, we picked them out. They found ones that they really liked. I even started quoting up the numbers. Then, somehow, you gotta have your ear tuned to this. Wow, fabric shades would be really pretty. You know, I think would be really great with fabric shades. Fabric shades, wow, yeah, that would be great. So we went down that road and changed from the woven woods to the Roman shades. So we did fabric shades throughout all their house, and even motorized shades in their master bedroom. So then we did phase 2 of their house. I said and suggested we should do some fabric, some drapery panels. Oh my gosh, you need some color in here. Everything's so brown. Let's add some color. We could just do some simple panels. It's so easy. Oh, it makes a huge difference. Okay? What do you think I did for the pillows? We need to distribute that color. We need to take it down from the panels and let's put it on your couch so then we can distribute it throughout the room.
Okay, so here you've got your shears. You have your different openness. You can see, different weaves that have a different openness. You can see the difference, from a 1% versus a 10%, how much more you can see through here. Now here's a perfect example. This is in a building where we actually had side by side. This is a light filtering. You cannot see this. This is a privacy fabric. So light filters through it, but you cannot see in or out of it. Right next to it is the exact same fabric, room darkening. Okay? Now, one thing you also want to kind of see here is that you see how this got that little shadow area there? That's because light filtering, there's a post behind there that's casting a shadow on the fabric. So that when you have a light filtering fabric, its color will change depending on how much light hits it. But that is a privacy fabric versus the room darkening fabric. So there are some very distinct differences, and everyone needs to know them, and your clients need to know them as well.
Everybody in the industry, across the line, if you don't work for our company, these 4 ways will work for you in the department of selling, okay? To create urgency, one must focus on price. Consumers are conscious of price. Everybody wants to feel like they're getting the best deal, okay? Everybody wants to feel like they're getting the best service, and some people will pay more if they feel that they are getting the best service. This is very true. But at the end of the day, everybody, including myself, is deeply attached, deeply attached to their pocketbook.
Business card pockets for your car. These things are pretty simple. They stick on your car. Here's a link for Amazon. I think they're like $6 a piece or something like that. You know, they have a little thing that sticks on your car. It's removable if you want to go into the car wash, and it doesn't ruin your paint. But I tell you what, it does work. Have a business card on both sides of your car.
Roll-up diameter. Now, this is real important because this is where your limitations come in. So how does your roll-up diameter change? Well, you have your tube size, and then it's the amount of fabric that wraps around it. Now, we talked about last time, certain fabrics are thicker than others. Why do we have so many fabrics? When you go through that book, you can feel a thin fabric versus a thick fabric. Well, thick fabric is going to roll up much thicker on the tube, even on the same size window. So if you have that sliding glass door and you use a real thin fabric, it may not take up much space on that tube. But if you use one of those real big, thick, like the Sherwee 5000 or some of those real big texture ones, that same size length will take up a ton more space.
The women we sell to are hardwired to feel important before they say yes. They will not say yes until they feel important. They have to feel important or they won't say yes.
You know, here's a phrase that I like to use a lot, and people just really love it. It distributes the color throughout the room. So you can add coordinating pillows to their order. So you have some side panels on there, you have balances. Say, hey, by the way, why don't we put some pillows in here? It'd be really great. We can distribute the color. We can coordinate it to the room. This is your interior designer hat that you're putting on, and it helps them get excited about it, and they go ahead and they do that. And then the last thing I like to do is I'll put plant seeds. I like to plant seeds. It's called shuffle the funds. So shuffle the money, right? So I'll tell them and I'll say, you know, in your master bedroom, why don't we put the money in your master bedroom or in your family room or the room where you're going to be spending your time? And then let's save money by not putting it in maybe the kids' rooms. Let's put in a wine or a shade, something a little less expensive. And let's put the nice product in the room. Let's make it romantic and cozy. So I'm selling the whole concept and the whole idea and helping them find a way to do that by saying, you know, let's just put the money where we want it.
And talk about your tube size. So you can see here, there's tons of variations in tube sizes. Remember, the wider we go, the bigger the tube has to be. And that's to stop it from sagging in the middle and getting that V fabric or that smile in the fabric. So here's just some pictures of different tubes and different things in here. So we call it a profile. The profile is the inner pieces inside the tube. So here you've got a profile that's got a couple of grooves. Here you've got some indentations. Here's a smooth profile. Here's a notch profile. And again, so these all have different purposes. They're made by different companies. They do different roller shades. But they all take different clutches, okay? Because each clutch has to fit a tube.
This right here is probably your number one thing that you can do, and it's really simple. You should always have business cards on you. We were at the Tampa convention, and I couldn't tell. I would say the more people that I talked to at the convention that were in sales that did not have business cards, it was unbelievable. I couldn't even believe it. I mean, pretty much if you're in sales or you're a designer with window coverings, whatever it is, if you don't have a business card on you all the time, every time, I mean, that's a crying shame. You should be ashamed of yourself. I mean, seriously, like, you should never, ever, ever, I want everyone to raise their right hand and say, I will never run out of business cards.
And we're going to get to that, okay? But remember this. Everybody always wants what they cannot have. Period end. everybody wants what they cannot have, okay? And if you want to create urgency, you have to be that mysterious, helpful, kind individual that might have time to stop and say hi if everybody else wasn't trying to buy from that person, okay?
They're all just a bunch of rectangles. So you don't need to be intimidated. You don't need to be worried. It doesn't have to be anything that's overwhelming. So let's just look at a basic window, right? Big square rectangle window. We also just on a basic wall. So if you do stationary side panels, they're really just two rectangles that go on either side of the window. Pretty straightforward. So here we add the rod. Just rod across the top, two straight rectangles, and you could be done. You could be totally done with that process. Okay? Now, if you wanted to add a valance, again, just one big rectangle across the top, over the window, easy, you're done. Totally done. So Roman shades, again, if you can do woven woods, if you can do wood blinds, if you can do cellular shades, you can do Roman shades. You're just outside mounted. You have a little stack, bigger stack at the top, and create their own balance. Easy. Balance and side panels, two little side panels and balance across the top. Bunch of rectangles.
All right, new construction marketing. I love this one, and this is something that you guys see these construction signs all the time out there. I mean, you walk into your neighborhoods, I mean, there's a lot of people building or remodeling new houses. You see it, I call them sticks going up, or you see a construction sign out front. This is a huge opportunity for you. Take a picture of that. This is another piece of marketing collateral I'd like to have. It's like a little postcard that's got a stamp on it, and you're in front of the house. You see the sign. Okay, I'm on Seaside Street, and it's the address is 123 Seaside Street. Okay, perfect. And I know what zip code I'm in, and I'm gonna send them a postcard and see what happens. I'm also going to take that phone number down. This actually looks like somebody in Sacramento area, right? And I'm gonna call them. I'm gonna say, hey, is Tom there? No, he's not in. Okay. Well, can I leave a message, or can I talk to him? When you talk to Tom, hey Tom, hey, I was just taking care of one of your neighbors up the street from a project you're working on right now. It's that one off of 123 Seaside Street. You know what I'm talking about? Hey, just I know you guys probably already have it taken care of already, but if you didn't, I'm a window covering specialist. I'm a designer, and a lot of times people forget about shades, and with the technology in today's world, everyone's starting to wire up shades like they do for alarms anymore. And actually, alarms don't even get wired anymore; they're wireless. But starting to wire up their houses for motorized shades, because everyone's using those Alexas and Google Homes now. So is that something that you guys have already planned into it? You ask a question like, "No, we haven't planned that." Well, would you like us? Would you like me to come out and at least talk to your client about that? It doesn't cost you anything, and worst case is you'll get a little bit of an education, and you'll have another referral in your back pocket. Would that work out for you?
Emotional value is different than regular perceived value. Perceived value is the value that you perceive it in. Emotional value is attached to an emotion. Hence, your pocketbook, okay? Your children, your dogs, your cats, your uncle, your aunt, your flooring, there's some emotional in there. So the term emotional value ties in well with this, because women buy at an emotional level. And if you can't find the emotional value for a woman, you have lost the sale.
So when you pre-qualify the customer for soft goods, this is going to be a really big step for you. So when I'm doing a walkthrough and talking to them about different products and saying what is it that you like, what are you interested in, I plant seeds for soft goods. So I might say, oh yeah, woven wood would look great there, but what about some fabric shade? Oh, fabric shade would be beautiful. So I'm asking questions and I'm planting seeds to see if they would be interested in soft goods. When I price the product, I price it quickly. And so I let them know that typically a soft good treatment is going to be more money, but it's well worth it, right? I'm always talking it up. And then third, I have certain tools that I use when I go out on a job, and it helps me to pre-qualify and provide ballpark numbers so that I'm not wasting my time, I'm not wasting their time, I'm not ruining the appointment by showing them a higher end product that they can't afford.
You know what? Sometimes those are the messages that someone needs to go, well, we've been talking about it, and there it is. So leave them in the elevators. I mean, OD, you work in high rises all the time, and I know there's high rises everywhere. You even have them in Fresno. I looked up some pictures this morning. Tell us about what you do in the high rises, OD.
Yeah, so I mean, this is kind of one of my biggest things that I've been doing for years for Pepper Marketing, and you know, when I know I'm going into a high rise, I bring extra cards, and I will literally, every time I get in and out of an elevator, or you know, if there's other people in there, I'll be a little more discreet about it, but you know, I will literally drop a card on the elevator floor every time I'm in and out of an elevator. And this goes for, you know, places of business as well as, you know, condo high rises, like doctor's appointments, anything like that. And I've been doing it so long, I've gotten so good at it, I can actually take my business card, and our cards are two-sided, so one side is like the dark brown, the other side is the white. So depending on what color the floor is, if it's a white floor, I'll spin the card and flip it so that it lands with the dark side up, so you see it. If it's a dark floor, I'll put it where the white side is sticking up, so it's obvious to see. And you know, some of the installers and guys that have come with me to installs have actually seen this happen. I've literally gotten calls while I was in the building doing either an install or a sales from someone that just picked up my card while I was there. And they'll call me right then and there, and you know, if I've got time, I'll go to them. If not, I'll book an appointment with them. But I do it every time I go up and down the elevator. So while I'm on my way up to the appointment, I'll drop a card. When I get down to when I'm done, I'll drop a card. I've done it so much that I've actually had some of the building places that I go into frequently will just say, hey, you don't need to drop cards anymore. We just refer you.
So fabric shades. So here's just a flat fold, basic shade, just like doing a woven shade. If you can do a woven shade, you can do a Roman shade. If you can do a wood line, you can do a Roman shade. If you can do a mezzanine, you can do a Roman. It's the same thing. It's a higher price point. It creates so much more beauty and value to the room by having a fabric. Here's another one. Real simple, right? White shade, a little extra detail with the banding. You don't have to do banding. Really easy.
The big ahas in all of this were something that I already knew, okay? Nothing was new to me, absolutely zero, okay? But it's safe to say that women are buy differently than men. I think that's hands down a huge conclusion here. Women buy differently than men, and it's safe to say that we sell to an audience of women that are 90% or higher. Okay? Safe, safe, safe. So what does that mean? It means we must tailor our approach differently for women than men. That's the first thing that we have to realize.
They can't necessarily find the exact same thing or have the same experience when it comes to shopping apples and apples when it comes to soft goods. You pick out products, the combinations that you provide, not only the fabric, but the treatments. It's all very much more customized than just putting in a woven shade or a wood line. Therefore, that being said, a lot of times the sale price is higher, so you get a higher commission as a result of having a higher sale price. It also positions you as a pro, because you're not just doing, oh, I'm just going to put in a blind. You provide them with a much more complete product line that serves their needs. People that want draperies and soft goods, when they know that they want that, they already have the expectation that they're going to be spending more money and they're going to have bigger budgets and they're ready to invest more when it comes to soft goods. They really value style and value. So they want the value, which is what they get from us, but they also want a sense of style. It's not just a matter of, oh, let's just cover up this window and get some privacy. They really stress the style. And finally, it's a lot easier, believe it or not, to close the sale because it's not all about the price. So they're ready to go. If they like what you provided, they're ready to go, and they close the sale.
Put some bait in the water, and the more hooks that you have in the water with bait on it, the more opportunity you have to catch fish. So bottom line is, the more you pepper things out there, the better you get.
Break the ice, something funny, okay? Break the ice, something in common. Break the ice, something that just happened to you on your way there, okay? Connect with, dog, cat, picture, plant, car. Oh, I have one of those. Connect, okay? Connect to that client and then pitch your tent. So Mike, we're gonna do some work today, and it's probably best if we have a table to work on once we get done looking at the windows. Do you have a place? Great, I'd love to be at the kitchen table. I'd love to be at your kitchen table. That's where all the checks were always written in my house. I want to sit at the kitchen table, okay? And I want to talk to you there. Set the tone. You're setting the tone again when you come in to that appointment. You're setting the tone, which is saying, hey, I'm driving. I realize I'm a guest in your home, and thank you for inviting me. But we're going to do some stuff, and I'd like to do it here if possible. Can we get there? And that person's going to go, of course.
To upsell into soft goods from your hard goods. So let's just say you're already selling a blind. It's super easy just to add the soft goods already to the existing product line that you have, the hard products, right? Really simple. Fabric shades. You can offer a fabric shade as an alternative to a woven wood or a blind or a hard product. What's really great is the soft goods can add a pop of color. So it adds life and color to your room because you're adding fabric to the windows by either you doing balances or stationary side panels.
When he says, that sounds great, permission granted, okay? Permission granted, and you have him on the hook that he wants those shutters in his house within 6 weeks, okay? You have him on the hook with the financing. You have him on the hook with the price that you bought him. He has been pre-qualified to this point to create such urgency that really there's no surprises here. You should not get a no. Okay? You should not get a no. Make recommendations, consider the budget, financing, include value, and price promotion. We just talked about that, right? We just talked about that. Make recommendations, consider the budget, financing, include value, price, and promotion. Hey, this is ending next week. I'm glad I'm here now. I wouldn't be able to come back. We're so busy. Business is fantastic.
Yard signs do work, and getting those out there and using them on a regular basis, people see them all the time, day in, day out. Yes, some homeowners associations don't allow it, or people don't, like, you know what? And I would just keep them up. They're disposable, so sometimes they'd be up for like a month. People didn't even, they'd call me and be like, you gonna come take your sign down? Okay, no, you could just, we appreciate it. Thank you. You can just throw it away if you want, or if you.
See how this one has just a little short rod over the top each side? So this doesn't have a rod that goes over the whole entire top. See how this one has a rod that goes all across the top? You don't have to do that. You can just do two little shorties on each side. Really easy. The price doesn't change, as a matter of fact. When you have this one with the rod all the way across the top, it's the same price, believe it or not, as the two little shorties. Doesn't change the price.
There's a lot to these fabrics that make a big difference as to why they weave so many different fabrics. So when you break it down into the categories, I break it down into 3 simple categories. And these are the ones that should be, now manufacturers will call it whatever they want, but you as a salesperson, you need to use these 3 to relate it to your clients. So there's no confusion, okay? So the first one you have is what's called sheer. So a sheer fabric is any fabric that you can physically see through. It doesn't matter how much you can see through, but if you can see through it, that's a sheer fabric. So some of them are harder to see through than others, but if you can still see through it, that's a sheer fabric. Why is that important? Privacy, okay? Then you have your next fabric, which we consider a privacy fabric. Now, a privacy fabric is one that you cannot see in or out of. You cannot see through it, but light still passes through it. And we'll show some examples of all these. So that's a privacy fabric, and then your last one is called a room darkening fabric. Okay, and this one you cannot see in or out as well, so it still has privacy. The difference is no light goes through the fabric itself, so it physically darkens the room. So even though a lot of these things have all these different categories on here, when you're describing it to your clients, these are the 3 terms you need to use: sheer, privacy, and room darkening. Okay, this will save you tons of time and explanation, as well as problems after you sell the job, because they'll know right off the bat. Someone says light filtering, well, what does that mean? Okay, is light filtering privacy? No. Okay, it can be, but it's not always. So you want to break it down to sheer, because everyone knows what sheer is, right? You can see through a sheer. Privacy, again, you have privacy and room darkening. Those are the 3 categories that you're going to be talking about when you're doing this.
Men buy with logic, women buy with emotion. And that is key, okay? You have to remember that. Men are logical creatures, women are emotional creatures. You will see men are on a mission, women are on a journey, okay? They're on a journey, okay? Not a mission. For example, if I walk into a store and I am with my wife, she cannot stand to be with me in the store because I want to go right to what I want and get out.